Okay, so I basically wanted to make like a update video, but also do a story as well. Um, just a little update before I begin with my story. I'm currently working. I have another vehicle because the first vehicle got towed away, and that's a whole nother story in itself. But it's so interesting, like what comes on my suggestions, um, when I'm on my page. And one of the things that I've seen um, is like my first fight videos. And it's like stories of people who got into their first fights or whatever, or assaulted or just whatever. So it's November, actually. And I remember I had gotten assaulted or in a fight, however you want to describe it, actually this month, 2 years ago. And, I still think about it every now and again, especially now that it's November and it's been officially 2 years since it happened. But I guess I think about it because, even though me and the girl, we're mutual, we're not best friends or anything like that, but, we do converse because she is my son's auntie. So because she's my son's aunt, I try to remain, civil and stuff like that. I guess you can pretty much say it's water on the bridge. But, the fact that she never apologized for it, at times I feel some type of way. And basically, because I don't want to make this too long, 2 years ago, I had my own apartment with my son's, dad. And we had our own space and stuff like that. And I remember every now and again we would drop our son off to his mother's house because she lived literally right down the street. She wasn't even a mile away. So we would drop him off and stuff like that. So the night before, I remember we dropped him off to her house. And, she kept him the whole night. Because, I was a new mother. He's 2 now, but he was like an infant then still. So he was still waking up in the middle of the night. He was crying. I think I had baby blues when I think about it. Because I, would have these crying spells and stuff like that. But, she would just step in and, help. So, I would drop him off at her house or whatever. And, the night before, I remember dropping him off. And later on, the next day, I would say around noon, I remember walking down that pathway, as I always do. And I remember knocking on the door. So I knocked on the door, and I didn't get an answer. So I'm wondering, why isn't she answering the door? I remember her and her son got into it the night before. So given that, plus her past history of not opening the door whenever we wanted her to or we needed her to, because she's done that before where she'll, just not answer the door. She'll just be so upset and she just won't answer the door. So I'm thinking as I'm knocking on the door, okay, she's just doing like how she did in the past, just not answering the door, but she has my child. That's what I was thinking in my mind. Okay, she has my child and she's not answering the door. Why is that? I had nothing to do with the conversation you and your son had the night before, so I was a little concerned, and so I remember walking across the street and calling his dad. His dad was at work at that time already, and I called his dad, and I was like, hey, your mom's not answering the door. I feel like I need to maybe call the police because, she's just not answering the door. And he was like, okay, I'm going to call her, and I'm going to see, what's going on. So he called her. I was waiting at the store, and then he called the store back because I was using the store phone. So he called the store back, and he was like, she's at the Salvation Army. And I'm like, well, I didn't know she had to go. And he's like, yeah, I didn't know either. I didn't know she had somewhere to go. I didn't know she had an appointment with them. So I'm like, all right, well, how long will she be? And he said, she'll be here. She'll be arriving at her house in a few minutes. And I said, all right, that's fine. So a few minutes passed. And I remember her daughter, my son's auntie, she got out the car and she came inside of the building where I was, and then she walked out. She didn't say anything. She just saw me and then she walked out. So I remember walking behind her, and like as soon as I step outside and as I'm crossing the street, his grandmother gets out the car and she's just cussing me out. She's like, oh, so you're going to call the mother effing police on me? And sorry, that was a neighbor coming to pick up his kid. But anyway, he scared the mess out of me too. But anyway, like I was saying, she got out the car. Oh, you're going to call the mother effing police on me and blah, 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 blah. Calling me all out my name, all this kind of stuff. And I'm getting mad because I'm like, okay, lady, I bought you pizza. I bought you drinks. I ran errands for you. Anything you needed, if I could get it for you, I did. I tried to go above and beyond for you, more than what your son is willing to do, I do. And you're going to sit here and call me out my name and threaten to murder me. Yeah, she got that mad. She threatened to murder me. And, she swung at me, but she missed. And I'm just like in total disbelief. And I remember her daughter, she was like, hold on, because we were still kind of yelling back and forth. I'm like, I didn't do anything. All I'm trying to do is help you out. Like, oh, I don't give a F about that. Da, da, da. And then, next thing I know, her daughter, she was like, hold on. And then, bam, she hits me square in my face. Like, and then she pushed me. So she hits me in my face, and then she pushes me against the wall or whatever, and I didn't even see it coming. One thing about the whole situation is that, I am disabled now. I have foot drop in my left leg. And I just find it very ironic how people want to, try to fight me or whatever, or she wanted to fight me in this case. And I'm like, you've been around me since 2012. But now all of a sudden I'm disabled and this is the time you want to pick to fight me? Says a lot to me. And so, like I said, after she hit me in my face and pushed me, she was all pointing at my face, talking about, you don't do nothing for that baby. You don't do anything for that baby, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, excuse me, I do a lot for my child that I can. And I'm like, furthermore, all your mom did was keep him for one night. My parents have kept him multiple nights, after my accident. They took control of the whole situation and bought my son Pampers and wipes. So I don't even know what you're talking about, to be honest. So she was trying to blow it off like that didn't mean anything. So I remember she tried to walk up to me, and I remember I grabbed her hair and I pushed her away from me. And she was just talking about, I'll murder your mother effing ass and all this kind of stuff. I don't know why they say stuff like that, talking about they'll murder me. Like, you dislike me that much? But, I remember I just kept pushing her away from me. She didn't ball up her fist and punch me or anything like that. I remember after I grabbed her hair and I pushed her, she walked up to me and all she did was snatch off my wig, because I had a wig. It was like a half wig or whatever. And I'm like, damn, thinking to myself, damn, I'm already having a bad hair day. And now you and the rest of the hood, for the most part, because that's where I was living, in the hood. Now they know it too. People on my left side, they're in these shotgun houses, and then there's the Arab store that I was just at. And then there's a barber shop. And I remember all the guys, they were standing outside, they were pointing and laughing, and, everybody in those shotgun houses, they were outside. They were laughing a little bit and stuff like that. You know, people were in their cars driving by, and, you know, they were just looking, and it was just so embarrassing. Like, I've never been so embarrassed in my life. And, you know, it was just really unnecessary because I didn't do anything, you know. And I remember after she did all that stuff, like, she took my son out her car because my son was still in her car. She put the car seat on the ground. And then she put my son on the ground. And then she got the stroller out of her mother's house and just drove off. And everybody's still outside. I remember there was a guy, he walked up when everything was done, and he was like, "Oh, are you okay?" And he was just laughing and stuff like that. You know, and I think it's mighty funny how people want to, like, step in when the whole situation is done or whatever. And so, yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And then this female walked up and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm all right. You know, I'm pretty sure I think got my ass beat." And she's like, "No, you didn't get your ass beat." She was like, "You just get out the video. I have to cut that part out." But yeah, she was like, "You just got hit." I mean, she was like, ass beat is like, in my opinion, she said, you're laid out on the ground and, you know, you're bloody. She's like, she didn't even draw like a lot of blood. Now she did, like, burst like my neck right here. But other than that, I mean, that was it. So, yeah, that was it. It was really just embarrassing. And I could have called the police. Actually, I did call the police, but I didn't push charges. I just let it be what it was, and I just took the loss for that. But I could tell you, like, you know, your first, like, altercation where somebody, like, actually hits you, it's, well, for me, as a disabled person, it was pretty scary. I'm not going to sit here and lie and act like I wasn't scared, because I was. Because, I mean, I never had nobody hit me in my face like that before, and then in front of everybody. So, yeah, but, I mean, that was just, like, my first altercation. She never apologized for it. I remember I looked on her Facebook page, and she made, like, a status saying, "Oh, you know, females be talking reckless at the mouth, cross me again, you know, you're going to get yourself and your feelings hurt." And she's never taken it down. Like, it's still up there on her page to this day. And, you know, even though I feel like we, for the most part, buried the hatchet, you know, the fact that she never, like I said, owned up to what she did, you know, it just, I can't help but still feel some type of way. But I don't have any ill will against her, you know. But yeah, that was pretty much it for that. And, I mean, like I said, I was embarrassed. But that was it, you know, and that's pretty much the end of my story time. I don't want to keep on rambling. So, for anybody that watches this, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video. Bye.